Thank you so much for joining in the session. We're just waiting for a few more participants to join in, and we will just start in another 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you.
My name is Farid Lutfi. I am a UAE national and I've been in the insurance industry for over 38 years.
I am Surinder Singh Kandhari, the chairman of Aldabovi Group. I've been in Dubai 44 years.
Hi, my name is Taru Singhal. I work for Zurich International Life here in the Middle East.
My name is Abid Siddiqui and I have been in Dubai for the past 30 years.
My name is Aman Pal Singh and I head the IFA business for MetLife Gulf, and I've known Ashok for almost 8 to 10 years now.
Hi, I'm Phil Story, Head of Distribution and the SEO for Investors Trust in the EMEA region.
I feel Continental conducts itself very differently. This is the most open organization that I've ever seen. I mean, whilst there are rooms and there are doors and everything, but business is conducted in open format. That talks volumes about the openness, the culture of the organization, which is to embrace everyone with open arms.
I've been associated with the Continental from the day it started. It's now 25 years. We're proud to be partners with Continental. I've been to the Continental office only one time in JLT. I found it very strange. Ashok doesn't have his own room there, and he was walking everybody's table. And I found the whole atmosphere there like one family. That makes the DNA of the company very strong.
The highlight for me is probably just seeing you guys grow. You've grown and grown and grown from that office above Splash now to having obviously this fabulous office in JLT, Business Bay, Abu Dhabi, India, Mauritius, Switzerland. And I think for me, it's really nice to see the good guys succeed. Really, one word, me? I'd say trusted friends.
Continental has always been one of the organizations which we've always admired as one of the brokerages, always looking ahead and planning for the change in the market. For me, Continental is a financial advisory firm which is reliable and committed to being in the market to give quality advice over many, many years now.
Well, when I met Continental, when we started, I think there were a handful of people there. And today it's grown to go, more than 300, I would say, families, because always when somebody's working with Continental, they always take care of the families. They work together real well. And this is what attracts us. And that's why we work together as not just as backup sponsor or something. So I have seen that they work as a family and they are very cohesive together.
Through a common friend, I was introduced to Shalu. I found her to be very proactive and very supportive and quite agile in terms of suiting things to my requirement, and that's what attracted me towards the organization. I should describe Continental in the current language of millennials. App. Agile, proactive, professional.
Thank you, everyone. We will just start our session now. That was just a quick video for you to introduce to Continental. I think some of you already have known Continental. You've been in touch with us for some time. So welcome to the session. Welcome to Introduction to Product Critical Illness. My name is Mohit Sharma. Just a quick introduce. My name is Mohit Sharma. I manage the partner success for Continental. I'm based out of Continental's office in India. I also have with me Shailaja Premnath. Hi, Shailaja.
Hi.
Shailaja is the international desk manager at Continental Juvo, and she is going to be with us in the session. She has over 20 plus years of experience at Continental as a company, of course, and deep experience in providing solutions to customers around insurance, critical illness, health, so on. Shailaja, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my name is Shailaja, and I've been with Continental for a very long time. Since Ashok was working with Alico, I was in Alico before. and we have worked together, and then we moved and we started with Continental from the scratch. So it's been a long journey with Ashok, and I'm still with him. In between, I had to take 2 year gap for reshifting to India. So now I'm back again with Continental, looking after critical illness, especially for Juvo. And yeah, I'm also holding insurance certificates for all ALMIs and ACS, AIAs, underwriting, and financial advisor certificates. So it's been insurance for me since very long time, and I enjoy doing it. Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shailaja. I think today's session, first of all, I'd like to, thank you for taking out time. It's a difficult time there in India, as all of us know, and COVID is on the top across all the states.
Yeah.
Customers are getting
Yeah.
impacted. Yeah. So I think we really appreciate you taking out time today to understand about this product. This is also an interesting
Yeah.
time because this is probably the first time since we started Continental Associate Network as a concept that we are introducing additional products. So some of you who have been a part of Continental Associate Network as an advisor, it's a privilege to have you today, and it's a privilege
Thank
to
you.
introduce a new product on top of the portfolio
Yeah.
that we have already spoken to you on. You all know that our core product from the very beginning was high value life insurance,
Yeah.
and in the current context of things, critical illness is kind of
Yeah.
a cherry on the pie, we would like to say, right?
Yes.
From our customers
The
requirements,
need of the generation.
need of the generation. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd like to now start with the session very, very quickly. Just a quick introduction to Continental. I think some of you who already know Continental as a part of Continental Associate Network would also appreciate a quick overview again. Continental has been in business over the last 25 years. We are a global insurance brokerage financial services firm. We primarily operate across our locations internationally. We are headquartered in Dubai, and we work across three main segments, so to say, in the financial services space. The first one being insurance, the second one being health, and the third is savings. We believe that there is a huge potential across these three areas globally. Hence, we identified, a set of 22 countries globally where we wanted to launch Continental Associate Network as a program. And today, we are proud to say that we have over 250 advisors working with us as a part of Continental Associate Network globally. Continental, when we started in business, it was started by Mr. Ashok Sardana. He's the founder and managing director of the company. Ashok is a veteran in the insurance space. He's fairly well known in the industry. In terms of MDRT, he's a lifetime member, and he's also top of the table across 20 years for the last 20 years. So that's a big feat. From a company perspective, he's been a sheet anchor, supporting us from based on his experience, based on his knowledge, and over the period of time, Continental has focused in specific areas providing solutions to high net worth clients or ultra high net worth clients, which has worked exceedingly well for us. So today, as we speak, we are one of the leading insurance brokerage firm in the Middle East, and we've also been regarded internationally by major advisor practice awards as a company. I think from your perspective, it's very important that you know that you're working with a company which comes with deep experience in insurance. So whether
Yeah.
you have clients in India or you have clients internationally, we are bringing them solutions which are global. We are bringing them solutions which are fairly successful. We are bringing them solutions where we've had a great experience with insurance companies that we've worked with over the years. So you can be, and I'm sure you can also relate to the fact that when you typically bring a high net worth client relationship, it is relatively based on trust, right? And you wouldn't want to break the trust considering offering them a substandard product. So I want you to be very confident in knowing that you're working with a company who has sold and who has provided these solutions to high net worth clients. We've seen a great deal of success. We've worked as a company on trust as a model, and that's where we are today. We have grown, leaps and bounds. Today as we speak, we are about 300 professionals worldwide in terms of our employees, and we have over 500 advisors who directly work with Continental based on our model. So with that, of course, we have an excellent model to support you across multiple products, across multiple domains. And we sincerely believe that as you being a member of Continental Associate Network, it is a journey that we're going to take for the lifetime. As Ashok always says, we want to work with you for a lifetime journey. So today in the lifetime journey, we are just introducing one product, which is fairly interesting. Shailaja, you want to add anything to what I said about Continental? You know me, you know
No,
more
that's
than me.
no, that's fine. That wraps up everything, Mohit. Thanks.
All right, perfect, perfect. So I think one other thing that I should mention, being us being a global company, some of you who have international customers will feel very comfortable in the referrals that you will work with us. You will always have somebody working, providing solution to the client who has a global perspective, who has an understanding of what products available to customers who are non-resident Indians, and then
Yeah.
providing them a great solution. So all the sales and marketing support you're going to get as a part of Continental Associate Network will go a long way in terms of helping you build your trust further with the existing customers, building newer customers, and of course helping your customers with the world class products.
World class products.
Yes, yes. In addition to that, I want to mention that some of you who have explored the partner portal at Continental Associate Network would have seen that there is so much of information that you have available on that. Please feel free to check that also for solutions oriented to critical illness. We've added some documentation for you to look at. You could share some of these documents with your customers, potential customers, current customers. Also, we share a lot of posts on social media, which will help you to share again with your clients, and it will help you to create a credibility with them from these products perspective. We sincerely believe that we are talking about unique licensed global products which are not sort of readily available to your customers, and these could be an excellent conversation starters for you when you start building your new customers. I mean, these are unique products which they don't hear many a times either on media or through other advisors, or even through simple searches, right? So these are the products that if you bring over to them, it will create a huge positive outlook when they look at these unique offerings. Yeah. So I think without further ado, I'd like to now initiate our discussion on the topic today, which is comprehensive critical illness protection for our customers. I just want to say that critical illness, while it has been there in the market for a while, the need of critical illness has never been felt more than the situation which we are in today, right? So currently, with us being in top of the pandemic, I think the critical illness or sort of comorbidities, sometimes a few of the critical illness are also called in that regard, are so top of the line thought processes when it comes to medical fraternity, individual customers, and all of that. WHO obviously regards this as an increased risk in terms of the critical illnesses which are there, right? The risk obviously is magnified with people who catch COVID, and they are a high risk. And considering your current customer base, it's an interesting time to reach out to them and understand whether they are covered with the critical illnesses as of today. Having said that, you all know that medical costs are obviously rapidly increasing globally, and customers are paying more than earlier to get them covered for their medical expenses. Then, of course, the loss of income and the ailments that impact them also becomes a high priority. We've seen, especially in the higher wage working professionals, this is a very important area that they need to look at, that anything that happens to them will create a loss of income. And how are they able to sustain their standard of living? How can they plan for the future? How do they finance their kids education in the future, and so on? So these could be important points that can create trigger along with your customer base. Of course, when a customer gets into a scenario like that, they don't the finances should be the least of their worry in such a scenario, right? So you really want to position the financial advantage of getting into a critical illness solution to a customer, so that they have a peace of mind that, in case something happens to them in terms of a critical illness, they have a cover which is going to help them as a protection. A couple of other facts for us to share with you. For example, cancer represents 65% of the critical illness claims worldwide, and that's pretty huge, right? I mean, considering the number of cancer cases are increasing globally, not just in India, and any impact that a disease like cancer can make on the person's finances is very, very deep. Uh, then, of course, the type of cancers which are kind of more common are lung, breast, bowel, and prostate. All of them are curable, although the kind of cost it takes to cure them is significantly higher, right? So customers need to be very sure that they are protected with these critical illnesses, and they are able to cover themselves up based on the products which are available in the market. The other trigger points that you can create, you can ask the customers these specific questions. Again, please don't mind these. Some of these might sound slightly negative, but I think it's these are important questions that the customer should address, right? So you could typically look at asking them, would your loved ones be able to cope financially and maintain their lifestyle if you are no longer able to work? And this is, again, I'm coming back to the fact that when you look at a typical executive population, the senior executives or the higher wage professionals, while they are currently on a higher salary bracket, higher packages, but they don't tend to have so much of savings with them. So if something happens to them, that could be completely difficult for them to cope up with, especially when you have a working professional which travels quite often, and of course then the risk becomes even more higher. Would your employer support you financially if you were being treated for a serious illness? The kind of answer you will get again in this case would be very interesting, because while employers are supporting them financially, but not as much as they might need when it comes to a serious critical illness. And that could also be a very interesting trigger point for you to discuss with clients. Would you be able to afford the care you may need if you become disabled? Again, this is another, because of critical illness there may be a disability that happens, and could you cope up with something like that? Would you be able to afford modifications to your home? Again, because of certain critical illnesses there may be some modifications to home which might be required. Are you ready for that? Would your children be able to complete their education if you were to meet their school fee? Again, these are typical trigger points for you to kind of difficult question to your customers, but important questions. It becomes easier sometimes if you take examples of people who got impacted because of similar situations. There are, of course, n number of stories in India, even with the HNI population, that you could take as a trigger point for discussing customer requirements. Uh, then, of course, how can you position these products to clients? And you could position it across multiple ways. So critical illness insurance is designed to protect an individual and his or her family from the impact of critical illness. So it provides sort of a financial security to them, which is the main thing that you should you should pitch in to the clients. Are you secure? Do you have the finance that you require in case you get impacted by critical illness? Critical illness plan, of course, is designed to protect from a financial security perspective. So it typically pays a lump sum based on the diagnosis of the illness. So that's the important thing you should position in front of client, that that it's not like a typical medical mediclaim or your health insurance, which only pays you when you have the illness. It pays you exactly at the time of diagnosis of the illness. And some of you who may be aware of critical illness know that already. For those of you who are new to this product, you should know that it's the lump sum payment as soon as the diagnosis of the illness happens. So obviously, an important thing for you to note is that customer gets a flexibility to choose from what type of care they want to get, right? And this is important because each type of customer is different, right? Somebody might want to go back and maybe care more about their families. They want to take some additional care for their children. Somebody may want to travel to get a specialized treatment outside of India. Maybe the critical illness requires him to be in a place which is obviously outside of India, which is a specialized place for. So as some of you may know that for some specialized cancer treatments, people need to be at different countries where there will be better experts to support them. Or in the least worry that they have is how can they supplement their loss of income with this money, so they can supplement the loss of their income with this money. So there could be multiple types of critical illnesses which are covered again with different plans. The typical 20 plus illnesses which we can mention as on a high level would be your typical cancer, end stage liver disease, end stage renal disease, major organ transplant, scleroderma, myocardial infarction, transcatheter aortic valve replacement, TAVR, OAS, CABG, Alzheimer's, coma, hemiplegia, benign brain tumor, multiple sclerosis, paralysis, and Parkinson's disease. So these would be like top 20% critical illnesses that customers get covered based on the protection and based on the plans that you take. Shailaja, you want to add anything to what I said? I think you are on mute. I think you're on mute, Shailaja. Okay.
Yeah, these are the major 20 what you have mentioned, but according to their list, it is more than 169 illnesses which goes on and on. So it's like everything is covered, from the small sicknesses also, all critical, everything is covered in this.
Fantastic. Moving forward, this is typically the thing that you will hear from the customer. Customer would always say that they have a health insurance. While we sincerely believe that there is no comparison between health insurance and a critical illness. When you look at somebody's health getting impacted and the cost associated with taking care of the health, sometimes the typical cost that the customer looks at is hospital bills and prescriptions, right? But this is really the tip of the iceberg. If you see the iceberg here, you could see that there are multiple other costs which also get involved, which are, you can call that hidden cost, whether it's about reduced income, so they cannot work as much as they were working earlier. Then there are hidden healthcare costs, which are typically not covered by the health insurance or the mediclaims. There are educational expenses, which may be falling into place where they are not able to fund their kids' education, mortgage and other lifestyle costs, which are obviously there. And again, mortgage cost is fairly common with more of high wage professionals as well. So that's an interesting thing for you to pitch to them. Family care, the family requires a lot of support at the time of any illness. So sometimes the family care is completely avoided as an expense. And of course, the daily living expenses, which obviously fall into play. So with this obviously coming into play, being a customer should be aware of all of these hidden expenses, which may not be as apparent as a hospital bill or prescriptions, but these are also sort of much bigger expenses in terms of that impact the individual. So that's another way of putting the trigger point to the customer, that how can why should I need a critical illness, and the comparison with the health insurance. So typically, you would see customer comparing critical illness product with four main types of insurances. So one is, of course, the health insurance. Then the other is typically the riders, the enhanced health insurance, disability insurance, and life insurance. In terms of health insurance, I think as we covered that your health insurance doesn't pay for everything, right? It only pays for your basic healthcare bills, whereas a critical illness insurance, uh, in the lieu of lump sum payment, can pay for anything that you choose to go with. So it really covers you for every cost that comes into play in terms of managing your critical illness. Then, of course, when you look at a typical enhanced health insurance, you would see that enhanced health insurance, it only covers sort of over and above costs. It has a lot of deductibles or co-payments or lifetime maximums, which actually fall into play, and probably not the best option for a customer to choose in certain circumstances. Also, disability insurance, again, disability, as you know, that it only pays the portion of your income cover or the customer's income cover to cover the regular monthly expenses only when there is a disability that happens. So you need to prove the disability only when you will get a portion of the income for the customer. Again, life insurance is again a very common insurance which is sold, but again, very very different than critical. Life insurance money, typically you only get paid when the beneficiary passes away. So I think with critical illness, bridging the gaps which are there across these four insurances, which are not covered by any of the four, and considering the circumstances today, it becomes a very important insurance for your customer to have. Yeah. Shailaja, you want to share something more to this?
Yeah, the slides were, if you can move on the slides.
Yeah. So I think before I go to the plan, I just want to talk about the product that we are talking about here to everyone. So we are talking about a product by Sun Life, Sun Health. Sun Life, as you all know, is a global financial services company, insurance company. Sun Life is a 150-year-old company, which is also present in India with the joint venture with Birla. It's called Birla Sun Life. So it's the same parent company of that organization. Then Sun Life has been rooted globally. The product that we are offering today as critical illness product, this is coming from Sun Life in Hong Kong. Sun Life has been there in Hong Kong for over 120 years, and it has built up huge experience in wealth planning and protection for customers from all categories. Sun Life also, of course, has one of the best credit ratings in the financial world, and it has been rated high by almost all major global rating agencies. In 2019, for example, Sun Life paid 27,000 claims. So that shows that the kind of trust customers can have on this organization having a global repute. So obviously, when they come up with a product like this, the product comes with a lot of research, a lot of thought process only when that is launched in the market. Continental as a company has over 20 plus years of partnership with Sun Life, and that comes very handy to you because our experience will go a long way in terms of helping you to pick up the right products for the customer, and also to during the life cycle of the policy, any help the customer requires, or whether it's related to the claims. For all of that, Continental will be the point of contact for client to look at. And of course, when you position Continental plus a Sun Life product in front of the clients, you will be able to build a lot of trust based on a product like this. So moving forward, I now invite Shailaja to walk us through the solution, the product. Shailaja, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mohit. Yeah. First, let us start with the Sun Health Omnicare, what it offers and what are the underwriting basic guidelines, and how you have to present it to the client. So first, Omni, the word itself carries everything like all. Omni, you are taking care of all the sicknesses, all the illnesses. So the name itself covers everything in that. And as we go through, I will get you through the list of illnesses and what they are covered. So first of all, Omni Health, it offers all protection solutions for critical illness mainly. And life is also involved in this. Along with critical illness, if death happens, the life cover is also there. Whatever is not paid under critical illness, the balance will be paid out as the death benefit. So it comes with inclusive of death benefit also. So first of all, there are 3 levels in this Omnicare product, but starting with, we are only going with level 1. Level 2 and 3 are there, but they are more expensive and the coverage is also more. We can offer, there is no problem in that, but for the basic critical illness, we will go with the plan 1. And accordingly, we have, as the Omnicare states, that it gives guaranteed illness and life cover up to 500,000. What I meant 500,000, it all depends on the residential status of the client. If they are NRIs, if they are living outside India, of course, we can go up to 1.25 million. That's not the problem. But if they are residents in India, there is restrictions in the sum assured. It's only due to the location and the conditions, how the underwriters are looking into each country. So for Indians, it is 250 for adult and 250,000 for adults. And if they are NRIs, we can go up to 1.25 million. Additionally, the one thing is most important is the first 10 years, you get another 50% extra cover. Suppose you are taking it for 500,000, extra 50%, 250. So for first 10 years, even though you're paying premium for 500,000 cover, actually you're getting a cover of 750,000. So that is one attraction which gives for the first 10 years, plus bonuses are of course there. It is offering lump sum payment and guaranteed illness cover up to age 100. There are a lot of flexible payment terms for 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 years. And it covers 125 major illnesses and 14 juvenile illnesses. And it provides death benefit and guaranteed cash. And that is the last one. If you are going through the illustration, you can find a separate column stating guaranteed cash values, and it is highlighted. And that part is also printed on your policy document. So I have seen the policy documents, and this portion of the guaranteed cash value also gets input in your policy contracts. So that is the amount which they are guaranteeing you for the amount, whatever is specified in the illustration. Apart from that, there is bonuses, and it all depends on the investment strategies, etc. So that is plus or minus whatever happens during the course of the period. So next slide. And the main target what we are doing is, its company is Sun Life Hong Kong's, and its name is Sun Health Omnicare Plan. Issue age, the age of the client, it depends on the payment term. Suppose you are giving him 25 years payment, the maximum issue age can be 50 only. So that means the client will have to pay within 75 years all his premiums. So that's why they are reducing the issue age. So the age always depends on the payment term. Suppose you are giving 20 years, it is 55 years. 15 years payment term, the age should be 60. It should not exceed those ages. Benefit is all the benefit of life, CI, ESI. ESI is early stage critical illness. That is ESCI, and that is all up to age 100. For benefits for juveniles, it is the juvenile illnesses is up to 18. It's not juvenile. The word illnesses should be there. So juvenile illnesses are covered up to 18, but after that, he will be taken in as an adult. So all adult sicknesses of 169 will be covered later. So currency is US dollar. Maximum sum assured, that all depends on the location of where you're staying. It is up to 500,000 for juveniles. That is what I'm taking as per Middle East, Dubai standard, and maximum for adult is 1.25. So of course, if they are in other countries, it all depends on the rating. We have A, B, C ratings. So the sum assureds and the premiums, the permanent loadings, all depends upon the location where the client is. Similarly, what we are saying is the first 10 years, he will be paid nearly 225%. With that, what I mean is the major stage of the critical illness, the early stage, the first 10 years, you get bonus of 50%. So that is 150%. And in case he is deducted of critical illness, that is 37.5%, he will be paid twice. Excuse me. So these 37.5%, which is paid 2 times, not exceeding $50,000, is not deducted in the sum assured. I want to stress this because usually in the death benefit, whenever you claim a critical illness, it reduces your death benefit. But here in this Sun Health Omnicare plan, the early stage booster, the day you have deducted with early stage, and that booster benefit is there, which is paid twice of 37.5% or $50,000. Excuse me. That is not deducted in your sum assured. So the total 150% plus 75 to 225% you're getting in the first 10 years. So that is the main highlight of this plan. So even though you're paying for 100%, you're getting the claim benefit of nearly 225%. After the 10th year, the death benefit goes to 100%. The early stage will be 25%. So it will be still 150% after 10th year. So this benefit under the policy is the main highlight of Omnicare. And in this, we have got number of covered critical illnesses 139, major stage is 63, what Mohit told 20 major. And in that, you have sub illnesses also, which totals to all these things. Early stage of 62 illnesses and juvenile 14. This juvenile illness is what I mentioned before. The benefit term of juvenile is till age 18. So these juvenile illnesses of 14 is covered only up to 18 years for the child. So after 18, this 14 juvenile illness will be off, but he will be covered for other adult sicknesses. Clear, Mohit?
Yeah, thank you, Shailaja. I hope everyone has understood the plan. I'm sure you would have specific questions. I would encourage you to put in your questions in the Q&A box on the control panel, and we will be happy to support you with the answers. So I think I would encourage you to ask questions. If you have questions related to specifics about the product, there is anything specific you want to understand, we'll be happy to pick up your questions towards the end.
Also, if you want to share the illustration, there are product highlights and illnesses covered after the page 10. If you want to show it or if you want to highlight that.
Okay, let me just see if I can just pull off that 1 second. So Shailaja, while I'm picking up the illustration, there are a couple of questions that have come in. So I'd like to pick them up. So the first question we have is, can we elaborate on the benefits once again? Would you like me to pull up the presentation again, Shailaja?
Yeah, please.
Okay, we'll kind of go back on a couple of slides to talk about the benefits again. Yeah, Shailaja, would you want to answer that question?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I think he was referring to the next one where I gave 225%. Yeah, this one. The benefit under the policy, is for the first 10 years, they are saying that they will provide up to 225% of the benefit. How is this subdivided? Is the first 100% is already there. Apart from that, the first 10 years, we are getting 50% extra than the first year. I mean, if there is 100,000, his cover is 150,000. So that comes in automatically when you share, when you see an illustration, you will be able to understand it better. So in that case, 150% of the major stage or the death benefit plus early stage booster benefit. Suppose he has been deducted with cancer or CABG or heart related or anything, they will be given as a booster or a initial stage claim up to 37.5% or maximum $50,000. Twice you can claim as early stage booster. Suppose he has deducted at the early stage, which can be treatable. So such benefits you can claim up to 50,000 maximum or 37.5% for 2 times. So that comes up to 75. So 150 plus 75, 225 is what they are confirming you will be paid for the first 10 years. If anything happens in the first 10 years. After 10th year, naturally the 50% is off. You will be brought back to the 100% of the death benefit. But the booster benefit still works on. That will be limited to 25%. And the total will be back to 150%. Hope it is clear by now. I think most probably if we put in an illustration, they will be able to.
Yeah.
I can show them on the illustration how it works.
Sure, Shailaja.
I'm unable to share the screen.
I have it here. So I'm just sharing my screen now. Just give me a second. Shailaja, please do let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Sure. Oh yeah, yeah. If we can go down we can do it. Yeah, these are the surrender values guaranteed, which is brought in the bold figures, plus the guaranteed benefit. If you can see the first 10 years, even though it is 1 million, he will be paid another 500 more, plus 50% of the extra benefit for the first 10 years. Then later it will be brought back to 1 million. So this is how the illustration looks with all highlighted numbers and figures what goes on during the term of the plan. And I think we should go to after 10th page for the product highlights and
Sure.
So if you run an illustration, everything is there in that movie. It's like, yeah, schedule of benefits. So if you ask for an illustration, you don't have to carry any brochure or summaries or anything. Just this 10 or 15 pages in your hand is more than enough to explain to your client what all is provided. Even in this also, you can see the first 10 years what you're getting, the 11th year onwards what you're getting, and the details of each benefit is explained here. This is what goes into the contract, and this is what everyone signs up and acknowledges it. So here you can see the death benefit, the major stage critical illness, early stage. Each benefit has been explained in detail of what is there and what is not. So even in the death benefit is normal. Major stage explains everything of the major 63 major illnesses. And that also you can find it in the later pages, like in the 12th and 13th page, you can find all the critical illness benefits, and they have explained it in detail down these pages.
Yeah, we can also share this as a sample illustration to you. However, we always recommend that since you have interest in this product, it'll be helpful if you can pick up maybe some initial cases, maybe like initially 2 or 3 cases that you believe are relevant.
Yeah.
Create the illustration for them, then start talking to them.
Then start talking to them. Then only they will be able to practically, if they do it, practically when they look into it and understand it, then only they'll start getting queries. And when they start meeting the clients, they'll get more queries. That is the time I can pitch in and clear their queries and things like that. Because theoretically, we can explain everything, but when they meet one-to-one, face-to-face, that is the time they get into know more about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think our advisors will appreciate that, Shaila, because we've seen that even on the other life insurance side of things, whole of life policies, we've had
Yeah,
illustrations, and I think the advisors who have generated more illustrations are now better and have a better understanding of the product.
yeah. So
So
down the lane, this should also work in the same way. I think they should be professionals in understanding also, because they are used to it and they know the base of it. Like critical illness, they know how it is, and only thing what it offers, each company is different.
sure.
So once they look into the details, they'll be able to understand it better.
There are some additional questions, Shaila. I think the
Yes.
one question I can see that how many hospitals are covered in India, but again, that's not relevant considering critical illness.
That's not relevant. As long as the doctor certificate is there
Yeah,
and they want to take the treatment and all the details are submitted, the claim papers are submitted, it doesn't matter which hospital is it.
yeah, yeah. There is another question by Mr. Dinesh. He's asking if after claiming the benefit, if the
Yeah.
client dies, then what kind of money does he get?
It depends on the claim amount, what he has done for critical illness. If it is zero, if everything he has taken away, might be it is a major or something and they have settled everything. If the value is zero, he will not get any death benefit. But if it is something like early stage, he has claimed some small amount and later complications, death happens, the balance amount as death benefit will be settled. So the total of 225% for the first 10 years and 150% of the next 11th onwards, that amount will be settled.
Sure, sure. I hope that answers the question. I can see another question, which is towards what is the minimum sum assured for this plan in Indian rupees? So is there a minimum sum assured, Chalila?
Yes, minimum sum assured is there because the minimum sum assured, instead of telling sum assured, what I mean to say is the minimum premium per policy is $3,000. Might be you can go to 100,000 also, but if the child is very small, if the premium is not sufficient, you need to increase it or you need to change the payment term. Suppose the child is 1 or 2 year old and you're giving just 100,000 for 10 or 15 years, the premium will be very low. It will be less than $3,000. So naturally, you have to meet up the premium also of $3,000. I can say 150,000 for juvenile and 250 for adults for India, but you need to see the premium also, which is minimum premium of $3,000 per annum.
Sure, sure. There is another question, Shalija, towards the form filling in medical and financial
Yeah,
underwriting.
yeah. I have the grid, underwriting manual grid, which I will be sending it to you, Mohit. And hospitals, I have to check with Shilpa. Might be they are already working with some of the hospitals in India for their Sun life policies. So I think we can get the same approvals from Hong Kong that we are already connected with these hospitals. So unless I get a startup, we will not be able. But 250, there is no medical requirements as such. I'll send you the underwriting grade. 250 up to 250, there is no medicals needed. They are all non-medical cases.
Okay.
So in case there is NRI who is going above 500 or 1 million, then I can give you the details. I'll share it to you, underwriting guidelines.
Sure.
I'll send you the underwriting.
Sure. So I think we will be able to share this with everyone as we move forward. Please feel free to put down your questions. Anything else that you think is relevant that you want to ask about this plan. Um, I think those of you who have experience in selling critical illness or other health insurance oriented solutions would appreciate the value these plans are able to offer over and above the ones which are available in India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shailaja, you want to talk about some other products which are available, and how could this policy be compared to such other products as well?
Yeah, usually because I'm just here for 2 years now in India, I don't have much experience of the health policies what is being offered here. But usually, what I have heard is the health policies are all of outpatients and all of limited coverage amount. And once it is paid, it is not you cannot uh, claim it again. And the amount which is very restricted for each illness, which is not sufficient for a person to financially undergo all his needs. So this plan actually helps him, even though it is not for any outpatient or anything. At least he has a peace of mind that future he's secure and his family is secure. So
Yeah.
that's how this plan would be very important to each and everyone. And
And
especially now the health conditions are all like it's all into very bad conditions. I think this critical illness surely is a must for all the family.
yeah, no, I've actually personally seen someone in my family, Shailaja,
Yeah.
uh, who actually got impacted by a major critical illness, and
Oh,
because he had a policy with him,
yeah.
he was able to take care of not just his expenses, but
Yeah.
also in terms of what his family required once
Yeah.
he passed away. So I
Yeah.
think.
While I was working in Dubai, I have handled many claims,
Mhm.
and I can feel how happy the families are when they get the check or when
Exactly,
they feel that they are being secured. So it
exactly.
really makes your heart feel good to do this. It's a kind of social service also. I think this
Exactly.
insurance is,
I was.
I like the way that it takes care of other people.
Yes,
And
yes.
I really enjoy doing this.
Yeah, no, I have seen myself, the family of the person who was related to me. They were kind of fairly, I mean, of course, you can't replace a person in such a
Sure,
scenario, but
sure.
if you get an amount which is to
Yeah,
take care of, protects them for their entire rest of the lives, it's a
sure. Yeah,
I got another question from Mr. Dinesh, where he's asking if we can share the illustration. Yes, Mr. Dinesh, we'll share a sample of this illustration with you separately, which you can go through again. And if you have any questions, we can always pick up another time of Shailaja to explain you.
yeah,
Also, I want to mention that the best way to learn, as we mentioned also, is to bring up a potential customer that you believe is relevant for this kind of a plan based on the premium that Shailaja said minimum is $3,000. You could also go to HNI clients and talk to them about, whenever they have newborns or, juveniles into play. And those are also the situations you could leverage for these kind of plans. Uh, I have another question, Shailaja.
yeah,
For $3,000 minimum premium, what
yeah.
would be the protection amount for critical illness?
It depends on the age and the amount, Mohit.
Mhm.
So initially, I will not be able to tell you unless I get the age of the client and the amount what we are looking for. So
Sure.
we need to work like in the terms of payment term, the sum assured, the age. It all depends together.
Mhm.
So if I can get a tentative idea of the age and the sum assured what they are looking at, I will not be able to straight away confirm how much protection they will be having for 3,000.
Yeah, no, I think what we can do is with this kind of a minimum premium amount, if you
Yeah,
could also help us with the other details, and I will share with you what kind of details we would require to create an illustration.
Yeah, I don't need names or anything. If I can run some dummy with the ages, and you will get a fair idea of how much premium you can
Yeah.
get into.
So I think what the gentleman is suggesting is the age would be 5 years and the term for 10 years, right?
Okay.
So maybe
Let,
that we can create an illustration and send it out.
yeah. So I'll make a dummy one for 5-year-old with 10-year payment.
Mhm.
So that should, yeah, I'll share that with you, Mohit.
Okay. If you can also share your name on the Q&A box, because I think your name is appearing as Redmi. So I mean that's not the name, I'm sure. So if you can put your name also, we can share this illustration with you on email. But for everyone else, we'll be sharing a. Okay, Mr. Tushar, I've got your name now. So we'll share the illustration with you for 5 years old and term 10 years after this call. And for everyone else, we'll be sharing with you a sample illustration that you can have a look at. And
Yeah,
if
tentative ages. Yeah, what they're looking at.
yeah, I think maybe we can do another call post you have gone through that illustration,
Yes.
and you have further questions towards this. We really want you to understand this product fairly well, because we believe it's going to be a great success in India.
Yeah.
Considering the time right now, it's important for us to kind of go to customers and start talking about these products being unique offerings. Anyone who has a global perspective onto their investments, maybe they are NRI, maybe they are having some business interest outside of India, maybe their kids might be settled abroad or any situation like
Sure.
that,
Yeah.
a very very good situation for us to go with,
Yeah.
because the as Shailaja was mentioning, that your sum assured is fairly high, and it's a dollar denominated product,
Yes.
which obviously has an hedging benefit on top of whatever sum assured they will get, right? So obviously that is a plus for them, right?
Better to start early. The kids mainly, if we target, it's good for a long run. It's a good for investment also for them,
Sure.
and it will safeguard the whole family also.
Sure.
Because the premium you are paying is so low, and later on down the age, during his middle ages and all, which is needed most, there will be enough of cash surrender value if he needs to have it. Plus, he is also covered for all these things.
Sure. Great. So thank you again for taking out time today for the session. I'm sure there may be more questions left out. So
Yeah, welcome.
to let us know. If any of you wants a recording of the session, then I can always ask my team to share that with you. You can go through the recording once again in case you have missed out initial part of the session or the later part. So please feel free to make that request. I will obviously ask our teams to touch base with you post you have seen the illustration and you have more questions. We'll set up another call to walk you through the questions that you have on the illustration, and we'll take it from there. So thank you once again for your time on the session today. Shailaja, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mohit.
And
Thank you, everyone, whoever is present. Thank you all.
thank you everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Shailaja.
you, Mohit. Bye.